Good evening, folks, and welcome to Here's the Deal. I'm your host, Shiloh. I got my trusty co-host with me, Mr. Marv. How are you?
I'm feeling way better than I was Tuesday. Thank you for everybody putting up with my sick, because that was no fun. In 5 days I won't get back, that's for sure.
Well, you look better and you sound better.
Yeah, I don't sound like I have a
So,
kazoo rammed in me. So that's nice.
yeah, that's for sure. That's for
Well,
sure.
yeah, yeah, it
Well,
was. So, how are you doing, Shiloh?
it's Friday today, and I've had a exciting week, and I'm just glad that it's Friday, and hopefully we get a little relaxation in this weekend. But I'm doing all right. So.
Good.
You bet. You bet. So it's been kind of an exciting week here, actually, in the last couple hours or 2 days or so. Of crazy in politics here in the state. We got things moving and grooving, and people switching spots and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's been quite the week, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Well, and that's part of the reason we have our guest on tonight, Kit
Hmm.
Brenan with Common Sense UnSensored. Uh, she's a spitfire when it comes to North Dakota politics, so I'm excited to talk with Kit tonight.
You bet. You bet. Well, with that, let's bring her on.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good. How
Good.
are
How
you,
are you
Kit?
doing?
Well, it's been interesting. I've been having some fire and brimstone going on your Telegram page.
Let's
But
do that.
yeah, but that's okay. I'm running for District 20 again as an independent, and I'm doing that because I do not wish to have anything associated with the Republican Party. Uh, I went through the process and I saw the way it worked, and I was less than amused. It was shady, and I'm being kind.
Now, are
It
you
was very.
talking your?
Go ahead.
Are you talking like your district endorsing convention, or what do you mean?
Well, when we did the redistricting, it was shady. When we did the endorsing convention, it was shady. And then I saw that about holding the committee up when the buses were coming in from Fargo and Bismarck with Hoven. And I mean, their rules don't apply to them. They apply to everybody else. And every step of the way, you've got to put money down. You got to pay $25 here. You got to pay $50 here. You got to do this. Basically, what they want is they want you to show up. They want you to hand them money. And then they want you to sit down and shut up and go away. And you all both know I'm not real good at the last part, sitting down, shutting up, and going away. And people will say, "Oh, that's sour grapes because you didn't get nominated." Stuff. I went through 3 rounds of voting, so for being a totally unknown individual sitting there in the Mayville Center, I think I surprised a whole lot of people. Plus, we got an incumbent kicked out.
Yeah.
And he ended up running around getting signatures and stuff and coming back in. And then he had Burgum's money backing him, everything else. So he ended up getting in, and he disenfranchised another Republican from a different district that got booted out when it was redistricted. So these people, they have no moral compass, they have no character, and I mean, I'm not blanketing them all, but I'm saying 85%. We've got some good people. And all they do in Bismarck when they have legislation is try to do the best to make their lives miserable or boot them out. Find any excuse in the cafeteria to boot somebody out.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, your particular district, they got Burgum endorsements in 2020. And then this last year, didn't a couple of your guys' current reps take Pfizer money to boot?
They certainly did. They certainly did. And they've got all the large glossy flyers and stuff. And I understand people are busy.
Who are they?
Belts and Haggart. They also voted to force teachers to have to use preferred pronouns. And the time before, they voted to allow boys in girls' locker rooms. Boy, that's a hardcore conservative there, boy, you jerk-sucker. I mean, seriously, people need to start doing research. They're stuck there's an R after the name or a D after the name. And when I was out on your page, I said, wow, what a concept. Voting for the individual, whether they're an independent or not, if it's the individual that has the character and stands for what you believe in, why would you care if there's alphabet soup after their name? You should be voting for that individual. Oh, it has to be through the Republican Party. You can't do anything through the Republican Party. This is how we got here. This is how we got here. We got here by voting for a Republican we couldn't stand because we were in fear that he was going to be worse than, better than the Democrat. Oh, at least he's better than the Democrat. Oh my gosh. This is how we got here. Because nobody would stand up and go, no, you guys are wrong. You just trot around. And we call the other side sheeple? Really? Mm-mm.
Well, and it's just not your district when it comes to
No.
that. Jason's district, Jason Heitkamp, Cindy Schreiber-Beck got her endorsement via proxy at their district meeting here 2 years ago.
Yep.
And she went and ran her entire campaign with the Democrat, Elisa Mishkog.
Our Secretary of State won from the basement.
I know. You don't have to remind me on that one.
I know, but I'm just saying that's how. Good God, a clown that never came out of his basement just strolled. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fight for my Republican Party in North Dakota. I don't think so.
But there are a lot of good Republicans out there.
Absolutely, and I will vote for a good Republican. But I want you to understand something too. New political independence. 41% of people now identify as independents. They greatly outnumber Republicans at 28% and Democrats at 28%. They're out there. And we should be utilizing that to get good people in our Senate seats. Does it really matter if they're a Republican or not, if they're good people?
Correct.
This is what boggles me. We're so busy voting for the Browns or the Vikings or the Packers. Oh God, our team's got to win. No, it's got to be the people. The people matter. I give up. I get so frustrated. I have fought most of my entire life and I'm not going to stop. And I love it when someone tells me I can't do something because I kind of go, okay, let's go. And that's when I get going and give it my all. And I wish more people would be less scared. The Republican Party, especially in North Dakota, is terrified. The Republicans. Oh, but what if we get a Democrat? Oh no. So they're doing nothing and they're allowing these sleazebag rhinos in on the promise that they're going to do better. No.
Well, and that's some of the issue too, is I don't honestly, when I went down there to Mike Lindell's event, and one of the first things he said was, it's no longer Democrat versus Republican, it's good versus evil. It's us against them. It's the uniparty against us. That's kind of that resonated with me. And one of the comments that you made on our page that kind of I had to sit back and think about a little bit is because one of the questions I always ask people here is, how can we get more people involved? How can we get more people involved? Because that's really what it's going to take, right? To turn this around. And, I never thought of it. Tell us what you said there in that chat when you were talking about that.
Well, when you're so busy crucifying everybody that comes that wants to do something differently, you're alienating everybody. I mean, all I said to somebody was, I'm going to run as an independent because I just don't think that the Republican Party is even worth battling with anymore. I tried it. And, well, you can't just take your ball and go home. It takes persistence and da-da-da-da-da. And I thought, you know what, bitch? I am not 12. You do not lecture to me. I didn't say you couldn't do what you wanted to do. Where the hell do you get off trying to tell me the way I'm going to fight for my conservative values? You are as bad as everybody else and everything else I'm fighting against. The people who want to censure you, the people who do nothing but tell you what you do wrong, and then you wonder why you can't get anybody who wants to join your team. Gee, I can't imagine why I wouldn't want to sign up to be under your thumb. I mean, seriously? No. Pardon me. I'm a little upset.
No, I
But
agree.
I'm done. I'm done. You
Yeah.
know, if we cannot figure out how to work together without slamming everybody, and then she posts this meme of a bridge burning. And I said, oh, we could all do without the snark and stuff. Oh, well, if you're going to get offended, but that's just how I roll. See, that's leftist snark coming from someone who wants to portray herself as a staunch conservative, good person. Yeah, you didn't show me any of that. You showed me exactly what the other side has always showed me. I hope you're proud. And I don't even know who you are, and you don't know me, but you felt perfectly fine going there. And then you wonder why y'all can't get anybody to come to your meetings and sit by your side.
Well, and I mean, what you're talking about right now, I have a feeling our entire political season this year is going to be very volatile.
Oh, yes.
You look at District 30. We interviewed 3 people that were challenging the incumbents. Their district meeting was here on the 24th. The incumbents didn't even bother to show up for endorsement. They're just going to try and primary out the people that got it.
They didn't want to face the negativity.
And
are you kidding me?
And I mean, I love the people that we work with. We work with a lot of great people, Shiloh.
I do too.
Contacts. And what we have moving forward, like there is a very good conservative movement going on right now. And I don't even know if you want to brand it a Republican movement. It's a true conservative movement. But you look at me, my first time registering as a Republican, I was 39 years old, almost 40. I've always voted Republican, but I've never seen the need to pay party dues, And so it was 2020 was the first time I ever registered as a Republican with my district, which I know a lot of people that are like that. We've never been to it. So when you go to the convention in 2022, which was highly contestable, I mean, there was all sorts of stuff going on there. It makes you kind of wonder how or what or why. And now, yes, we have taken that swing on party chairs. We have taken the swing on our chairwoman, but we still don't have enough control on our district level where we could have changed the state fees, your speaking fees for state convention.
Exactly.
Have that moderation, and we need to. But you look at the old guard before they left, they went registered the conservative Republican Party so nobody else could use it too because they were afraid of a party split.
Well, everyone's going to think I'm a class A raving crackerhead, but I get very, very frustrated because I see what's going on and people who are doing the same things that they rail against to those they want to include in the movement. And then they deny it. And if you can't identify what you're doing wrong, and if you cannot take, whether it's criticism, if it's suggestions, whatever, from someone within your own party, then you either have a God complex or you shouldn't be anywhere around people, because it's not the way to get it to work.
I just got a message here. It says they did more than not show up. One of them actually canceled the venue for the event in District 30.
Woo! That's some stones.
That's Glenn Bosch, Mike Nathy, and Diane Larson. So I wonder which of those 3 went and canceled the venue.
Yeah.
The problem is, if you can't face your own people, that should tell you something. Do you not agree? You are a representative of the people. And if you are uncomfortable facing your own people, like many school boards, like many city commissions who have gone underground and go to back meetings, or take select comments that are emailed in that they'll answer, you shouldn't be in that position, because your job is to represent the people, and everybody that we have working in a lot of these positions seems to think that their job is to dictate to the people. And until we get that part fixed, and it's all about the Benjamins, it's all about the money.
Well,
I
and
went
that's
out on,
right,
yeah,
because most of these people, I mean, even in this area, it doesn't matter whether it's county, city. You look at the people who are on these boards or even your school boards, most of them own their own businesses, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that. But who are the people that are benefiting the most from the laws that they're making? It even goes into our state legislature. Who's the people who are benefiting more? From construction companies to obviously Jason Doctor deal to, I mean, take your pick. So it, that's a lot of the problem too. But I think it never really, with me, again, we always said, well, why can't we get anybody involved? Man, I've had people at work tell me it's like they feel defeated from our elections to any of it. They don't have any. They don't feel that there's anything behind it. It's just they're gonna fix it to the way that they want, and by they I mean the people that are quote unquote in power, and and that's just the way it's going to be. And it's I've had many people say, well, why does it even matter if we show up, because nothing ever changes. So you have that, you go from that part of it to the part where we're talking about over here with the parties, and it's one fee after another, and different things like that. It's like, why do I mean, where do you even begin? Where do you even begin?
well, I taught for 20 years, and I taught leadership, and I taught business, and my husband and I own businesses and everything else. And the one reason I never had a problem in my classroom with classroom management or anything else is because I taught college, and I treated those kids with respect. And I always looked at them and I said, here's the thing. Here's the deal, right, guys? Here's the deal.
Mhm.
I said, I'm not any smarter than you. I've just been on the planet a little bit longer. So I've got something called experience. But that doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean I'm smart. So we got a problem that we're working on for class. Let's work on this together and solve this. And together we're going to find the answer. And we always did. We always did. But we don't have anybody we have people standing up there, I'm going to help you. They caused the crisis, and then they have to be your savior.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah. And then there's the idiots that sit there and go, oh, you saved me. Really? Done.
Well, and like Crystal brings up a good point here. People say, why should I try? When I ran, there was 7 other people I picked before me that should have been running for that office. And it all came back to, and this will take us kind of a little bit into our next topic, is nobody wanted to run against the governor's money. Nobody.
Somebody's got to.
And so I did. Like, I knew exactly what I was up against. I knew what Michael's piggy bank already looked like for donations. It wasn't very hard to figure it out that we were going in with $0 against, 100,000 or more.
Yep.
Now it seems like all the gloves are off. With Doug announcing not to run again this week, now all of a sudden we have 6 or 7 governor candidates, and they're all names that I had picked out almost a year ago because you and I had talked about this, Kit. So I'm sure you weren't surprised when you saw the list come forward.
It wasn't.
But what really is baffling me now is I'm already catching wind that some of these governor candidates are going to be pumping millions of dollars into running for statewide office.
Yep.
And that's insane. And it goes back to Crystal's question too, is why should I try?
Well,
I think we're sick of it. I'm sick of seeing millions of dollars spent on campaigns.
I'm that's why I want to run as an independent. I don't want to have to pay so much to my GOP to run for this position or for this position. I mean, everywhere you look, it's pay to play with these people. Everywhere. And I think we need to get back to talking to people face to face, to discovering out who the good people are. And we need enough good people. I don't want the job as District 20 House Rep. I want somebody else better than me to take it. I got more on my plate than I could even want. And that's the kind of person I want in office. I don't want the kind of person that thinks they're going to be the savior for District 20. I don't want the kind of person that thinks that they're going to want to be there until their term limits are up, and then they're going to go into lobbying. I want to be a burr under their saddle, Shiloh, like they've never had a burr before.
Mhm.
And then I want to go home and I want somebody else to come up and replace the burr with theirs. That's what we need.
I hear you. I hear you. You know, I think Jeff Magrum is probably the best example of beating the governor's money with just good old fashioned elbow grease. And you know, that guy, it's kind of funny because Luke said this to me once. We were talking about races and stuff, and he goes, "You know what, Jeff Magrum, he's a example." He goes, "That guy, he knows everybody in his district. Just look what he does for a living. He's out and he talks to these people. He knows everybody, and that in the end, if you can get out and talk with these people and talk with the people in your district, that's going to go a lot further than any mailer or anything else." So,
well, I don't have to worry about lying because I'll tell you the truth. You may not want to hear it, but if you ask me, I'm going to tell it to you. That means I don't have to try to remember what I said to who, and I don't have to worry about covering my tracks. I don't have to go, oh my God, did I say this? Because you asked me a question. If I can't answer it, I'll tell you.
I think it's funny.
I'll say I'll find out. I'll find out.
I think it's funny your local paper likes to paraphrase you when it comes to school board, though.
It is fun, isn't it? Yeah, like I said, I am the burr in the saddle. It's nobody likes me, but everybody listens. So it was the same way when I taught at a Minnesota community college. You can imagine being a conservative at a Minnesota community college. Oh, was I popular? And I haven't changed. I did not hide under a bushel for the 20 years I was there. I literally could walk past people in the hall and they would try to ignore me. So I'd go out of my way to wish them good morning and tell them they look just fabulous. But it's just, I just get so tired of people not having any stones to just stand up and go, this is what's right. This is what needs to be done. Oh, you're going to hurt feelings. You know what? I'm 68 years old. I've had my feelings hurt a lot. You get over it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I've stood for what's right, that counts.
At this point, it doesn't really matter whose feelings you hurt, because that's why we're in the deal that we're in, is because nobody wants to quote unquote offend anybody anymore. And look where we're at. You know, it kind of goes back to even the church deal, and we've been playing church for 200 years, and look where we're at. You know,
we've lost many of our churches. The Pope, I don't know what he's doing, and there's so many people that are making excuses, saying, "Well, he's a theologian." You know, you still should probably have it figured out what's supposed. And I don't think anybody should be vilified. If you love somebody, you love somebody, but I don't think that you necessarily need to have the Pope having you over for dinner telling you how great it is and that you should be a priest. And that's me. I'm sorry. I probably offended a whole raft of folks there, but well,
you guys have recently had local stuff with your church, and it wasn't even a Catholic church. It was
it's been bad.
You had a pastor that was preaching that sodomy was inhospitality, right?
Right. Yep. And that it was perfectly fine because it was in the Bible. I'm like, Yeah, but I don't think it was in the Bible in a positive sense. But you know, it's it's very, very frustrating to find out the amount of lack of backbone that people have in order to attempt to not offend someone. Here's the thing. I can't offend you, but you can take offense. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. My being white's going to automatically offend somebody. I can't do anything about that. That's on them. That's on them. If they're going to be offended just because I'm female, I'm hetero, and I'm white, I'm not changing for you. And I'm not going to excuse it.
Well, it's not
I'm
like
not
I'm not
well-
going to be orders, so I mean, there's that.
Well, and I'm not going to say you're a bad person because you're not white, female, and hetero, but why do you have the right to tell that to me? We're just rude. In the name of equality and equity, we have gotten so doggone rude.
We have.
And that's the thing that I've always said. Like, I will treat a person with the same amount of respect that they treat me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the way the kids and I always worked. I said, you know, we're going to respect each other. The day that stops in this classroom, we are going to have a come to Jesus moment. I don't know if you're religious or not, but trust me, you will believe in Jesus on that day, and he will be here. But until then, we're on the same plane. We're going to get stuff done. We're just going to get it done.
So, governors.
Oh,
Hit. We have Kelly.
yeah, yay. Ooh.
Which
Sorry.
I talked about Kelly back in July last year.
Yeah.
Kelly, Tom was in and now he's out. I've heard rumors of Tammy Miller.
Yep, I've heard that too.
Lisa Fedorchak.
Yes.
And rumors of Brent. And then we know Michael's going to be running again too. He said that on the show here back before Christmas. So right there, we already have what, 6, 7?
Yeah, the gang's all here. We've got the insiders that.
What
I think
the show here about Tom Campbell and being on what's his face out there?
Hennon. Gates. Oh, Hennon. Yeah. Hennon, and Hennon's exact words, because I was driving home listening to him, was that Campbell was running for governor and he told Hennon he had a sugar daddy who was providing him with the money, so he had an in. And before that, he'd actually come out and said he had Bill Gates' money behind him, and because somebody had suggested he maybe wanted to run for another office, and he said, "Oh no, I'm running for governor. It's my turn, and I've got the money."
Crystal, Kramer I had heard rumored too, but I don't think we'll see him running for governor against Kelly, to be honest.
No.
I don't think we'll see Kevin face off against Kelly.
I think what's going to happen is, do you know what a scrum is?
Yeah.
Okay. I think what we've got is we've got the intended candidate, and then we've got a lot of these outlying candidates that are being fielded as protection to push the intended candidate forward and keep the riffraff, us, at bay and on the outside. And as it moves forward, as they are willing and receive their benefits, will drop off.
Well, and the way I kind of foresee this playing out is I honestly see Kelly moving forward for the governor spot.
Yes, absolutely.
And I see Rick moving forward for our U.S. House spot. I really do. And I think the reason I say that is, like, Rick's our serious candidate. He is. And whatever people say about Mr. Campbell, I've never met him. I have no opinion on him. I think he's got that cloud hanging over his head with selling his farmland. And I don't think a lot of people think that. I don't think that will help him in one bit. But, I mean, really, Kelly coming back I know people love him. I know people hate him. It's really kind of an interesting race that it creates, because out of the names that are out there, I mean, Kelly has a proven winning track record, and he has a lot of backing behind him from different groups. So it'll be interesting to see even how state convention goes.
He's got the money. He's got the name recognition.
And I think the reason we've seen so much movement this last week is everybody's literally been waiting for Doug to decide what he's doing.
Yes.
As it goes back to the Secretary of State spot, nobody wants to run against his money.
Yep. And he's been up on stage with Trump enough. We know he's going somewhere involved there. Even though, because he's untainted by any scandals. This is a great guy. He's untainted by any scandals.
Here's a question for you, Kit.
Okay.
Nikki Haley versus Joe Biden versus RFK.
Oh.
Right?
So I have to vote for one?
Yeah.
Okay. If I have to vote for one, I'm going to throw my money towards Robert Kennedy. And the only reason I am is because of his stance on the drugs and other things. And I don't like his climate policies. I don't like his Second Amendment policies. So there's a lot not to like. But if you're throwing me listen, you're asking me to pick between dying from cancer or let's see, pneumonia, which is going to kill me faster. So if I look at those three, I have to figure out which one I maybe have the chance to hang on long enough to fight back and survive.
Okay. To be the devil's advocate with RFK, though, on Second Amendment, can't really blame the guy for his gun stance. I'm just saying, you really can't blame the guy for where he stands on guns.
Well, the reason I can is because he's even came out and admitted he knows the CIA was behind it. So that should have nothing to do with me being able to defend myself. I mean, if the CIA comes to my door, I better have my flamethrower ready, because I have a feeling they're coming with something a little bigger than what my 9mm is going to be able to take out. But I mean, I'm just saying it's, and I do have a flamethrower, by the way. It's awesome.
A good way to clear the driveway, that's for sure.
Well, it's helped. It's helped.
So we've seen a lot of movement just with the House and Senate around the state, because we've had 7 senators resign. I've lost count of how many House members that aren't going to be running again. The one that really kind of struck me was District 46, with RFK, or I'm reading and talking, with Shannon and Jim stepping down and deciding not to run again. So we need to reach out to Casper, because it sounds like he's got a couple of running mates already with him, Shiloh, too, because it'd be good to have Jim on.
You know, a good question to ask you guys, though, is why the sudden defects? Why has everybody decided that this is the time to jettison? What's getting hot?
Okay, so here's the thing, though.
Here's the deal, not the thing.
Here's the deal. If Burgum gets picked for a cabinet position, or heaven forbid, the vice president.
Oh, please. I just threw up a little in my mouth.
We've already seen Chris Jones defect from the state, who was our former Department of Health and Human Services. Somebody who did Doug's bidding for 3 years. I can see him getting appointed to a position someplace.
Yep.
We have Shannon, who's an attorney, again, following if Doug leaves. What's not to say she doesn't get appointed to a district attorney someplace? Jim runs a construction company. What's not to say we're not going to see Roars contracting on a national level? But the other reason I think a lot of these reps are abandoning ship is they know their district doesn't support them anymore. Some of them, it's just time to go. I mean, like Representative Blue, I've never had an issue with Larry, but it was time for him to go spend some time with his grandchildren, and I don't blame him. But you look at or
I think it's take the money and run.
Yeah. I'm trying to be positive.
I
I
think it's take the money and run.
I think there's a reason we can't find emails, and I think there's a whole lot more going on than this.
Which
My
is
opinion, but who the heck am I?
Take
so
the money and run.
speaking of which, if you're elected, would you help sponsor and carry a bill to reverse the legislators' emails can't be FOIA to make it
Oh, hell to the yes.
and make it retroactive to the date?
Yes. Hell to the yes. There is no way an email on a state-owned computer and for a representative or whatever deserves, and the excuses they give are laughable. Oh, well, people won't want to send us emails with their problems if they know others may see them. Really? So you got the phone, you can meet. This is the biggest bunch of hooey that I have ever heard in my entire life. This is a CYA moment, and that is all it has ever been. That's another one where it's rules for thee, but not for me. And I'm so tired of that. And it's here. And no, absolutely not. No. What do you have to hide? If you have nothing to hide, you don't have to worry about it. It's my property.
So when you get elected, what committees do you want to sit on? I know you don't get to pick.
Okay.
Committees you want to sit on.
I really would love to kick some butt on education. I mean, spending 20 years in a community college where I had children that graduated from North Dakota schools, small town schools, who couldn't read, who couldn't write, who couldn't do math. And it's not just that they were droolers because they were going to the community college. Most of my students had already gone to UND, and they didn't leave UND because they weren't getting the grades. They left UND because they didn't like having classes in auditoriums with 150 to 200 students where you push a remote control clicker and you don't know who your instructor is because you've got some graduate student teaching. And they even told me that. They showed up in my class and they said, we got the teacher and you're with us all the way through. And you're working with us. And we went back to the basics. We went back to where I would take the board and my little marker and I would put which, W-I-T-C-H, which, W-I-C-H. One has a pointy hat. Don't use it in your sentences unless you're casting a spell. I mean, it's that bad.
I'll do you one better. So every week at where I work, I'm a safety guy, HSE coordinator for an oil company up here, and every week we have a batch of anywhere from 6 to 15 students come in. So by the time we go through and we do the drug tests and stuff, we usually end up with about half. Anyway, so I stepped in for the trainer this last week because he was sick. And I think I was telling this on Tuesday as well. There was an individual from Las Vegas, a young kid, 21 years old or so. And so we do a lot of, like you're saying, up on the board stuff, and we follow in a book and all that good stuff. And then we have practical conversations about, at this particular class, it was H2S, which is H2S gas that we have to deal with up here in the oil field. And I really felt bad for him because he said, I didn't learn how to read that well. They knew I could play football, so they just pushed me through. And and every week there's someone like that. I can't tell you, I go out to do these safety meetings on these crews, and I mean, we're talking 21 to 30-year-old men who can't read or write, and it's
heartbreaking.
It is.
It's heartbreaking. They have no grasp of history. They have no grasp of the basics.
And then I look at these proficiency scores from last year, and Tioga's at a whopping 2% proficient, and I think it was reading.
Yeah.
It's just,
and those are fudged high because they've got the scores so low They're underground. It's the standards have been demolished because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Well,
Right.
you've got to understand that you've got to tell these students why it matters. But by the time I got them, they said, we never had to work in high school. I actually had a kid that went through the entire semester, never did an assignment, never did a test. And he was outraged that I flunked him. I said, you didn't do any work. He said, I was in class every day. He said, that's all I had to do in high school. I went, this ain't high school, honey.
Right.
He, honest to God, he goes, well, I paid you tuition. I went, yay! Yeah, look at this.
Right here. This is Tioga from last year. Tioga Public School District. ELA. They're 21% proficient and they got 9% in advanced. Right down here, 2% in math. Not 20, but 2.
How are
And
these kids going to function? How are they going to
2%
survive?
advanced. So you got a whopping 4%. And they want to pass an $80 million bond to add on to their school.
Yep, we're
$80
having the
million
same problems.
for 2%.
Everybody's building new schools right now, and I'm like, hold on. Why don't we start teaching the kids first? They were smarter when we had one-room schoolhouses than they are right now. And if anybody wants to find it, they can go out and look up their own school districts. Because I talk to everybody that goes, oh, well, that's not my school district. And I look at them and I go, go look.
Go look.
Go look. Go look.
Yeah, well,
Hillsborough had 80% valedictorians? How do you get 80% valedictorians? It's not possible. The bell curve? Hello? Anyone? I mean,
so
unless you're just running them through. Oh, sorry. Obviously, I'm very passionate.
Yeah,
I'm very passionate.
The key. I'm surprised you didn't go after DPI, but
well,
it looks like we're gonna have some fun there anyway.
I don't have enough DUIs.
You guys in Ray. I mean, right here it is. You're really not any better. 33% proficient in math, 9%. But what kills me is the state goes around toting these scores like that. 39% proficient. That's flunking.
I'd be embarrassed.
39% proficient is your state average.
I'd be as an instructor, I would quit. Because I would look at that and I would take that as a personal affront. I mean, I took my teaching personally. Those kids were my kids. And some of them are still on my Facebook page. I mean, those are my kids.
So,
I'd be embarrassed.
Let me ask you this. Do you know what the difference is? Because right here it says state, district, and then school. What do they mean by school?
It's supposed to be, in my estimation, because I don't know how they read it, but the school versus how the school ranks versus the state district versus the state, because they've got different schools.
Well,
I believe.
Well, in Ray's, there's only in the Nesson school district. There's only Ray. Is what I don't get.
There's only the high school. Did they not do any of the other testing at the lower levels?
Yeah, they have a K through 12. So the school must be the high school, huh?
I would assume then if that's what they're doing. But see, that's the other thing. We should be testing these kids. And okay, I always run into the people that go, "Oh, standardized testing is evil." Well, until you come up with something better, how the heck else are you going to know where your kids are before they're too far gone? Before they're in 12th grade reading at a 3rd grade level? And I understand, I'm not talking about standardized testing for everything, because there's problems with that too. But there should be a format that allows us to have better achievement scores than this. Europe seems to manage it. Japan and Asia seem to have it down.
I can already see Kit's campaign slogan: "Make spelling bee great again."
Oh, you guys want to see? Oh, you guys will love this one. You know, Williston, the school
Yes.
that does no wrong. Mr. Corey Junt, who won't come on and have an interview with us.
Criminal. In so many ways, criminal.
By the way, Mr. Junt, the invitation still stands, but I know that you won't because we won't ask you the questions that you want to answer. But
You
anyway,
know,
here we go.
that's the thing. He should be made. Well, so should Baszler, but everybody that's anybody in education, on a school board, in the Department of Education, whatever, they should be made to answer to this, not celebrate this. This is criminal.
Look at this here. ELA for Williston, 27% proficient, 10% advanced.
And
So
those numbers are inflated.
my question is if you only got 27% proficient, how in the world do you have 10? What is considered advanced would be my question. Here you go. Math in Williston, 21% proficient, 9% advanced in math.
Well, you know, it's all about the Common Core.
Yeah, I know.
Don't say Common Core. We don't do that.
We do social emotional learning now. All we did was change the alphabet soup. It's the same damn concept, but we changed the initials because you all told us to change it from Common Core, so we did that. So we're good little conservative people. We went from CRT to SEL. Woohoo!
Sarah wants to know, what about sitting on Health and Human Services if you can't get education?
Absolutely. I would love that, because I tell you what, education's the original black hole where money goes to do no good and die and go into other people's pockets. Health and Human Services is the new black hole that they're gearing up.
$6 billion budget.
Yep. And they just got the opioid payment of $7 million on top of everything else we gave them. They just got $7 million. Excuse me, but for needle programs. Up in Grand Forks, they're giving fix kits. They have condoms, they have the rubber tubing, they have the spoon, the cooker, they have the syringes, they have a granola bar. All of these, when you go in, you get this little fix-it kit. Any junkie would love one, and you get it for free. Because it's no cost to you. It's a full cook kit.
My head hurts.
We're doing our best to save people. Right. Oh, we had less hepatitis C cases. How many people did you lose from fentanyl?
Quite a few.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's like with the education. Look over here. We saved these people from hepatitis C. We lost hundreds to fentanyl. But we saved, with our little cookie kits, we saved people from hepatitis C. I'm sure all the dead folks are thrilled. And their parents. Mind blown.
Plus, Health and Human Services handy dandy new tips app so you can turn in your neighbors to authorities quicker and easier.
Well, get used to that, because that's coming. That's coming for just about everything, because the social monitoring police, they're working on where you can be arrested for thought crimes.
Oh, great.
Yeah, there's somebody that's trying to punch it through legislation. I'm trying to find it here because I did have it here, and
already here.
Yep, what the deal with that one is if you seem to be questionable, here it is. It's kind of like the Minority Report, and it's to amend Title 18 United States Code to prohibit unauthorized private paramilitary activity. This can be cited as Preventing Private Paramilitary Activity Act of 2024. They're going to get you for having ammunition, for having a dangerous weapon, and that's exactly the term. What the hell's a dangerous weapon? I can kill you with a spork. So, I mean, eating my potato salad with a dangerous weapon. So what the hell's a dangerous weapon? Because literally, I can kill you with a spork. So explosive or incendiary device, there goes my flamethrower. Firearm. Does that go with my airsoft pistol? Large capacity ammunition feeding device. Those of us usually call those magazines, but hell, it can't contain more than 10 rounds. 10 rounds?
Death by carrot, soup cups. Yeah, like Sarah's just listing stuff off over here on the side too.
This thing is, you just have to have intent. So,
We're gonna have to take this off.
Just don't eat potato salad next to me, gentlemen. You'll be fine. You'll make it.
Oh Lord.
The insanity is you have to laugh or you'll cry, but the insanity, the idiots are taking over the asylum. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Oh
Goodness.
So
this is the most interaction we've had with the audience in a long time. We better have Kit on more often.
2/3 of the budget is going to health and human services in schools. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that for a while already.
And they're talking about mental health. Well, the reason our kids are acting out and so bananas is, first of all, no one in a school can do anything to discipline a kid. Period. You cannot. So the kids are running rampant because they know that. The second problem with mental health is the fact that we have COVID, and we also aren't teaching our. Here's the thing. I can remember the very first year I was teaching, and I discovered that they taught public speaking online. Public speaking online. You do a video.
Well, I understand that, and I'm just going to piggyback off of what you're saying as far as the kids in school. Yes, there has to be, and I'm guilty of it when I first got involved with this running for school board and stuff. The parents need to be accountable too.
Absolutely.
And when we had the daycare going and stuff, I mean, I can tell you stories. Anyway, the parents need. Yes, they need to be involved and they need to be accountable and they need to hold their kids accountable. The next thing that they need to do is get them off the damn drugs, period. And by drugs, I mean the Ritalin or whatever else that they're on, because everybody takes them to a doctor and then we get prescribed stuff and that doesn't work. So here,
thank you.
How about you do this? You start feeding them what they need to be fed, not all this garbage that we're eating. I mean, my kids have been gluten-free. Josiah's 10 years old, so it's been since he's been 3, so it's for 7 years.
You know what? Give him back gym class.
Yep, him
back gym class.
Josiah has autism and stuff, and you know what? To this day, that kid is not on medication. He eats right. We push a healthy diet for him. He does stuff like Taekwondo. We have him go outside. They have chores. We were just talking on Tuesday. No, it wasn't. It was at work, I guess. But we were talking about kids and raising kids and stuff. And I told my coworkers, I said, "You realize my daughter's 7 years old. She's wanted a dog for 2 years now, and she paid for all of her dog with her money that she has saved from doing her chores and different things like that. And I'm not going to give the specific amount, but it was a good chunk of change.
Kids need responsibility.
Yeah, and she paid for it on her own. Same with Josiah. The deal was he wanted this video game of some sort, and we said, okay, but you're going to have to earn it.
But you see, the problem is that the drugs are the easy out.
Yep.
And then you can say, well, it's not my fault. It's this disease.
Right.
If I'd have been a child today, they would have had me so drugged up because you can understand I'm wound a little tight.
Yeah.
Imagine me as a child. The fact I made it to 16 without my mother drowning me in the bathtub is amazing. But because I mean I was just crazy. But
Yeah.
but we had chores, we had responsibilities,
Yeah.
and we played outside. We ran. I mean, you weren't
Mhm.
allowed in the house unless you had a darn good 30 below. She dresses you up like the Michelin Man and says, "Go with God, child. Maybe come back someday." And you're out in the yard. Boom. I
Yeah.
mean, they taught us to go out and entertain ourselves, not sit there
Mhm.
with a screen in front of us going, "Make me happy." And that's the other thing. Everybody thinks that they have to spend 24/7 happy. When did this become a law?
That you don't need to be bored or you don't need to sit and idle. And that's the problem is I mean, even look at how many adults, I mean, and yes, mental health is a very touchy subject. I understand that.
I
But I
really
feel
understand it.
I feel that there's a lot more things that we as a society can do a lot better.
You know, the biggest thing we need to do is we need to start treating our children um, differently. We need to start giving our children responsibilities, giving them standards to live up to. I believe that kids do better when things are expected of them than when they're constantly told, "Don't worry about it. That doesn't apply to you. You don't need to do that. Oh,
No.
you're sad. That makes you uncomfortable." Well, don't. Life is uncomfortable, and we are not doing the job that we are supposed to in preparing these kids for life. That's why we have safe rooms. Why would you need a safe room if you were taught to cope?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm raising a feral child, so don't talk to me.
I
Yeah,
would love.
right.
I would love because believe me, I was feral. People would always just say, "Well, I'm not much better now," but people would just say, "And there she goes." It's just, but
Well, and
but
that was Sarah and
there's nothing
I.
wrong with that.
We're both rural kids. Like
Mhm.
we let Kaylin run and jump and play and have fun and be a kid.
Yes,
And when we can get her attention, we're teaching. A feral child who just figured out how to tie a shoe. Awesome. But
Mhm.
this is a child yesterday. I wish I had it down here in front of me so if Sarah could run it down. Um, she created her own elf on a shelf. And when I come home at lunch, she had drawn it out. She was hot gluing it together. She was putting it together.
Mhm.
I swear to God, kid, I thought Sarah had printed off the head of this elf and given it to Kaylin and she had just cut it out. Well, it comes to turn out she drew it. Here, here.
yep.
Oh yeah.
That's from a
Hmm.
6-year-old.
Our kids are capable of so much more than we give them credit for. In my little 2-year program, spring semester in the marketing management program, we would do a marketing plan for a nonprofit or an area small business from start to finish. That's master's level work at a 4-year university. I never told my kids that's what they were doing. I just said, this is what we have to do. These people really need our help. So we're going to do our best to help them. I've never done one for these people before. We've done bison, we've done all. I said, I have no idea. I'm learning with you. We'll get through this together. Let's have fun and let's help these folks. Let's go. And we took the whole semester to do that. And if I'd have told them at the beginning, well, I don't think this is, I think this might be a little bit above you. And oh gosh, I'm really not so sure you could achieve it. Guess what? They would have never made it.
Yeah, and that's the thing with her is like she's like her father. Once something clicks, it's there.
That's such a great moment.
And so like reading, we've been working on reading for a couple years, and like this year, uh, over the holidays, like when she was out Christmas shopping with mommy, all of a sudden she realized joy, and she was reading joy, and she was reading joy everywhere. And from that moment in the last month, like the words that she can spell have expanded exponentially from that.
Yep.
Because now that's all it took was clicking on the word joy. And every kid's going to learn different. And that, I think, is where
They all do.
that's where I think we kind of are failing in the public schools, is we try and stuff all of our children in one box and expecting it to work for everybody.
I agree. I used to use a combination of lecture. I used to use written tests. We would have projects. We'd have all kinds of different things so that however you learned, you had a way to compensate and figure it out and get it done. But you still had to try the other methods.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't just say, well, you can do this or take the test. You got to do everything. You've got to do everything because I want them to experience everything, because sometimes what you fear the most can turn out to be your greatest strength once you figure it out and you get it.
Well, Kit, I know you normally like your hour through here and then
I'm ready to go to bed, guys.
But predictions here.
Okay.
What else do you think we'll see in the next week?
Oh, I think we're gonna see more people jockeying for position for legislature. I'm hoping we get more good people that are willing to throw their hat in the ring and come forth, that don't want the job and are willing to run as independents, that aren't going to let the fact that there's not a letter after their name dissuade them, because this is part of the game. Part of the game is, well, you can't win if you're not a Republican, or you can't win if you're not this, or you can't. And we have let people cant us to death. I remember when Obama said, there will be no more good economies. This is as good as it's going to get. So you better get used to it. And I thought, oh God, he's probably right. Yep, that sounds about right. We've run our course. And then Trump hit the shores. And he proved that was BS. That we could, if we got it right, we could make it good again. And I'm not saying I'm necessarily all in for Trump, but I'm saying one thing the man did, he opened a lot of people's eyes to the lies that we had been accepting and taught us ain't necessarily so.
So yeah. I'm thinking by the end of the week, we'll have 3 DPI candidates.
I agree.
We're going to still only have 1 treasurer candidate, because I don't think anybody's even considering running against Beetle, and someone needs to.
Someone needs to. I agree. We got, but it's not glamorous.
Part of the legacy board, it's part of the land trust board. Like, treasurer folks is an important seat when it comes to the longevity of your children's future in North Dakota.
Yes.
I mean,
it's very important.
Secretary of State, Attorney General, Department of Public Instruction, and State Treasurer are your 5 members of the school land boards.
I'd like to see more people come out for the legislator positions that are open and really take hold. And if you go through the process like I did and the results aren't what you want, go get the signatures and run as an independent. Don't just give up.
April 5th, by the way, is the starting date for when you can collect signatures.
I'll be knocking on doors
for November. So keep in mind, if you are running independent,
and if you're in my district and would be willing to take some petitions around for me and get signatures, and if you don't know what the district is, because my district is huge, go out and Google, the North Dakota district, and they'll put up a map for you, because mine goes way up past, Grafton, almost to Grafton, and then down to Gardner, and it's just ridiculous how big my district is. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that say, gee, I wish I could vote for you. And I go, you can. And they go, no, I can't. Your district can't be that big. Oh, yeah, it is. So if you're interested, I don't want the job, but I'll do the best job I can, because somebody's got to throw themselves in the breach. But I tell you what, if I do get elected, the first thing I'm going to be looking for is somebody to replace me, because I don't want to live there.
Right.
It's not, my goal is not to be a politician. I don't want to be a politician.
Well, if you get elected, you're welcome to the Bible study every week. I mean, the bill study that we do.
I have. Well, I got to tell you, you were probably right the first time, because I do believe that if I get elected, I'm going to be talking to Jesus a lot. Him and I are going to be having a lot of one-on-ones, because I'm going to be going, I can't believe this is happening, because I did that a lot on campus. We'd go to in-services, and we spent 45 minutes of my life that I will never get back discussing people's personal pronouns at one in-service.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're I think we're less than 10 minutes from the Capitol, so you know, if you get elected and you got questions, I'm not very far away.
Sweetheart, I will be hat in hand on your doorstep.
But the last statewide, the only position I don't want to see challenged is state auditor. I don't know how you feel.
Oh gosh, please, dear Lord, no. We need Josh. He's the one honest man I believe that I know of for positive, and I'm not saying there aren't any others, but Josh is a man of honor, and I don't say that about very many people, but he is. He's a man of honor, and he says things to the people because he deals in facts. And these people, a lot of these legislators don't want to hear facts. They want everything buried. And Josh opens up the can and goes, "Oh, look, I found worms," which we need.
Yeah. Oh, please. Well, Kit,
Off to bed for the old woman.
Fun as always to have you on. Check in with us as you're going on with the campaign, or if you just need to vent about what's going on the east side of the state, because we don't hear it very often.
Well, on the east side's where the crazies lived. I mean, Fargo just should have a shell over it just to keep them all in.
You know, there's good people in Fargo, though.
There are, and I've got a lot of friends down there, but even they're saying, "Geez, Louise," we're seeing a lot more people moving rural out of there.
Well, in District 16, though, like, they got a good slate of candidates down there. We got Ben Koppelman, Andrew Marshall, and Clemens, right? Was the one we had them on a couple weeks ago. That was a really good show.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of talk about what was going on with the Attorney General's office too, that we weren't expecting coming into that interview.
Well, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, we'll save that for a different.
Yeah, that one really cannot be kicked down the road. That can needs to be opened up and looked at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, gentlemen, I love you both.
Thank
you.
We
love you too.
Take care.
You too.
And you know what? Keep fighting. And I'm going to just keep being me, because that's the only me I know how to be.
That's all we can do.
Bye-bye, babies. Take care.
Later.
Oh, you got to love her, right?
Oh, it's always a ball of fire talking with Kit.
I was trying to remember.
First time I ever talked with Kit, somebody had told me to get a hold of her because she was so mad that she was going to run for governor against Doug. And I didn't know what I was getting into when I made that phone call. And it was an amazing hour-long conversation 4 years ago that I still remember every day. Like, you want to talk about somebody putting the screws to you right away just to make sure that you knew what you were talking about. That was Kit, and it was awesome. So we were just joking about that the other day when I reached out to her about being on again tonight. So yeah, right now we don't have a Tuesday guest, Shiloh. I've reached out to Jim, the DPI candidate. I was really hoping that we'd be able to get him on, but I'm sure his inbox is buzzing right now. Yeah. So we do have an opening on Tuesday night. If you guys have a district meeting coming up, if you want to get on and talk about something, if you are candidates that are running, I don't care if it's for school board or county commission or city council, we at the moment have a Tuesday night free. And then Friday, we have a show coming up. I don't want to announce that guest just yet because they haven't announced what they're going to announce yet. So that's kind of where we are. We have a mystery guest next week, Friday.
Okay.
and then yeah, we need
I
somebody.
don't think I even know.
No, I haven't
So,
told you yet.
jeez. Wow.
I'm
Talk
sorry,
about
Chef.
uninformed, huh?
If somebody asks me to shut up and not say something about something, I'm not going to say it until they get a chance to do it the way they want to.
That's right. No, that's right.
It's just like Cole getting married. I knew what was coming, but he asked me not to say anything. Hi, honey. Come on. You want
Yeah.
to see that quick?
Well,
Uh,
just to kind of piggyback off of what we were talking about earlier about people getting involved, it really kind of
Hi.
hit me when she said that. Hi, Kaylin. How are you, honey?
Good.
Good. It kind of hit me when she put that on there that people are just, they don't want to get involved because, the pay to play deal and just all the hoopla and stuff that you have to go through.
money
And
only
I mean,
goes so far, though, Shiloh.
what's that?
Money only goes so far. Yeah, it buys you some
Right.
nifty mailers, but I'm going to be more likely to remember the candidate that knocks at my door and asks for my vote than
Mm-hmm.
the garbage that's going to come flooding into my mailbox that chances are is going to get turned into paper mache.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Like I said earlier, Jeff Magramy is a perfect example of beating that money and just going out and knocking on doors. So, and it's hard sometimes. I know, like even us, we've tried to not put people down and stuff, and obviously we ruffled feathers when we came out against the Election Integrity Act for the retroactive date. But um, I think too that we need to realize that it's okay to disagree with each other, but we need to keep going on as well. And so, um, I've
Well,
got,
and I look at it this way, Shiloh. We're asking questions people want to know.
yeah, right.
I'm not
Mhm.
trying to attack somebody or come out against somebody, but I'm going to ask questions until I get an answer.
Fair enough. Yep. Yep. And so it's hard to not let emotions take over there sometimes. What is that saying? It usually high emotion, low intelligence, and sometimes I'm I'm guilty of that a lot. So uh, I've been learning to try and take a deep breath sometimes and go off and think about stuff. But yeah, no, I hear you. It's one of those things where I think we all could do better. I mean, even myself, I'm not immune to that. So, but at
Oh,
any
and
rate,
I mean, you've sat at a table with me when we're off camera. Like, I
mm-hmm,
grew up ranching, running kitchens, and working in the shop. And there's some days where my vernacular veers towards four-letter words that aren't show appropriate, and
right,
it's not even because I'm mad. It's just it's there, and it's something that I need to work on.
mm-hmm,
I know because I get yelled at for it,
yeah,
but it's not. It's not from a lack of intelligence because people have always said, swearing is a sign of lack of intelligence. No, it's not. But there's sometimes where it's the only word that fits a situation.
mm-hmm.
But
That's a
at,
fact.
at the same time, you look at it, I would rather somebody be emotional and passionate about something, even if I don't agree with them. If that is where they come from, if that is their belief. Like, I
Mm-hmm,
love people that are overly open about their Christian faith. I do. I do. The
mm-hmm,
people, when they come into work and you're having a bad day and they're overly thankful and you get the God bless you and the can I pray for you?
mm-hmm,
It happens in my line of work every now and then. And it's usually on the days where you're seriously contemplating your life choices. And it's kind of a nice little wake up call.
I
But
hear you.
again, I'm rambling. But
No,
I don't take that high emotion as lack of intelligence. I don't. I would rather you be passionate about being conservative. I'd rather you be passionate about being a Christian. I'd rather you be passionate about wanting your kids, your school boards, your city councils, your commissions to work to better your community than put money in their own pockets. So
I agree. Excuse me, I agree. You bet. You bet. So, just for final thoughts of the show, then, last week we really didn't. You left because you were sick,
yeah,
allegedly. No.
you jerk.
I had to get that in there. So, and we
You
had the.
it sounded like I ate Darth Vader and spit out Mufasa from the Lion King.
Shoot. So, we've heard from a lot of candidates, but I'm dumbfounded about Kevin Kramer. I really am. I don't understand what his thought process is. Um, there's been lack of communication. I mean, all you see is these photo ops and stuff, but there hasn't been any meat and potatoes behind him for a long time. I mean, he hasn't even announced that he's seeking re-election, has he? I haven't seen it.
I don't know.
I just
I think we're running into. I think we're running into another situation where everybody spent the last 6 months waiting to see what Doug was going to do. Just sat in a court hearing on Monday in Bismarck on Monday when the county was taking a family's land, the Short family, the bridge to nowhere in Medora.
yeah. Yeah, that's the Arthod deal. Isn't that that's what you're talking about? They call it the bridge to nowhere because it's kind of like the carbon capture deal. What they're doing is the Short family owns a ranch, and they're trying to take some of the land for this bridge that they want to put in. Jim Arthod wants it put in because obviously he owns an oil company, and anyway, this bridge, they want it there instead of the state land. Yes, it's going nowhere. Yeah, that's for sure. So, Crystal, do you know what happened there exactly? I haven't heard. So anyway, this has been going on for quite a while, and if you don't know Jim Arthod, if you remember the company MBI, it was Missouri Basin Incorporated. They were one of the bigger ones in the Bakken out here, and they, what's going on, going nowhere.
Well, we're gonna have to talk with Crystal and get caught up on that.
Yeah, so they were having hearings about that, and I haven't heard much what they're gonna do yet. I know they offered them an exorbitant amount of money to try and buy them off, and they won't, because if I have it correct, and don't quote me on this, but it goes like right through the middle of their ranch, and so they're fighting it, and so the county commission has, our thought is got his people in the county commission, and so it's a big fight basically. So maybe we just need to do some more looking into it and go from there. But yeah, that's what she's talking about, the bridge to nowhere.
Just to move a hill. But back to what you were saying on Kramer, like I'd like to know what's going on. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more insight with that. My district convention is Wednesday, and if I see Kevin, I want to catch him and talk with him about it. District 47, folks, if you're in Bismarck and you're watching, is Wednesday night. I believe it starts at 7 over at Century, which is where we normally have it. So let me double check that. Sorry, I didn't have it right in front of me. You can fire me, Shiloh. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, you got secret guests now that I don't even know about, and man, it's just falling apart.
Just wait, though. If you decide you're going to do something stupid like run for office, I'm going to invite Luke back. We're going to fire you.
Why would you even say that?
Yes. Wednesday, January 31st, 2024, 7 p.m. Well, I mean, we're both former candidates. I'd expect you to fire me if I decided to run for office. So
Yeah.
I'm not, folks.
I'm taking the fifth.
It is in February.
So on a lighter note, District 2's endorsing convention is on the 24th. From the local newspaper, it looks like the incumbents are not going to show up there, according to the article that they put in the paper, but that's remained to be seen. So, and then we have another candidate running, Alexa. She'll be running for House, and I don't remember what the gentleman's name is that's seeking the Senate seat. So,
Mark?
yeah, Mark Inget. There you go.
Yeah, and I look forward to actually having your district on too, because I talked to Alexa last night. So we need to get your candidates on the show too.
Yeah, you bet. So, and that'll be Saturday, the 24th of February. I do believe that's Saturday. All I know is it's February 24th.
Okay.
And I think it's just a second.
We really need to get a schedule up for all the endorsing conventions, because you got to go to your guys' district conventions, because if you want a seat at this table for a state convention, you better be showing up for your district conventions.
Yeah, it's the 24th. Saturday, the 24th of February and that's at excuse me, the Tioga Community Center at 1 p.m. I do believe. So
there you go.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there. You know, we'll see what happens. So
I am gonna work on trying to get Kelly on with us too for the governor run.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. And if you don't get voted to be a delegate, be a sub or show up as a guest. We had a lot of fun as a guest at the last state convention.
Yeah, the last one both Angel and I were a delegate. So I tried to behave myself for the most part. So
yeah,
anyway,
point of order.
yeah, that worked out. And then anyway, so if you if you're gonna be talking with Kevin, maybe you
I think he's in our district. If he's there, I want to catch him and talk to him. I'll probably try and catch whoever else shows up at the endorsing convention too. That's going to be running.
Tell him if he doesn't want to talk to me that I'll skip the show if he'll be on with you.
Okay. I will.
Okay.
Tuesday
Fair
show.
Uh-huh.
I'm kidding. Don't ignore me.
See, we can talk more about that off air, but yeah.
This is what happens when I sleep too much.
Something.
Right? I am something when I sleep too much. Anyway, folks, I think we're done rambling for the night. Unless you got something.
Yes, I do have something. The DPI candidates. You said you're going to reach out to Jim, that you've reached out to him, or you are?
Yep, I already sent him an email from the show. I'm going to try and actually call him on tomorrow or Sunday. Try and get a hold of him so that we can get him on the show.
I think we should try and get Kirsten on as well. I'd like to get some of these people on that might not agree with us. And it's not to be derogatory to them. I don't want to pick a fight with them. I'd like to actually have a conversation with them and feel out why they feel the way they do, just like they will with us, right?
Well, and the thing is with DPI, like you and I have already discussed, and we talked about it briefly on Tuesday, I think. We're going to come up with a set list of questions when it comes to these statewide offices, where we're asking each candidate the same questions.
That's right. I forgot you gave me homework too this week.
Yeah, I did, and you're failing.
Well, now I got. See, folks, he's giving me homework, and we're having secret guests now, or surprise guests, and
well, this is what happens when you let me manage the website.
I love it. I couldn't ask for a better co-host. So
Anyway, I want to do the same if we start getting governor candidates on. I'd like to have that same list of questions where everybody gets asked.
Governor and House. Shallow is now the co-host. You are not wrong there, Sarah.
Oh, whatever.
You are not wrong, and you know what? That's fine. I'll be whatever we need to do. So it's a joint effort, that is for sure.
I'm just not bashful about asking questions nobody else will. But that's the thing is, like, I think our audience deserves a consistency when it comes to that.
Yeah.
For DPI, for governor, like any of the other statewide offices that we have where we're asking the same questions of each candidate. And it's probably the only time that we'll ever give candidates the questions ahead of time so they can actually think about their responses.
Right. And by the way, folks, if you guys have questions, reach out to us, whether you leave a message on here on the replay or you email us. We've got our email, or I guess that's the website. If you go to our website, there's an email address there on the contact us page. Please reach out to us. We're always looking for suggestions on guests who you guys want. If you got questions for certain people, don't be afraid to email us, reach out to us. Some of you guys have our numbers. That's how we want to, grow the show. And that's probably something that we need to do, Marvin, because most of this stuff is we just start asking questions and it rolls like that, which is good to a point, but maybe we need to be more prepared and have better questions. I don't know. Weigh in on that stuff too, folks. Let us know what you think we can do better. What you guys want to see with the show, because that's why we started it, was to move information along.
Well, in the other statewide offices we have this year are going to be Public Service Commission, and then Insurance Commissioner. So we have both of those as well.
Oh yeah, the Insurance Commissioner. I'd like to have him on.
He's a big man.
Rauschenberg, right? Is that how you say his name?
No, John Gottfried is our insurance.
Gottfried, you're right. What's Rauschenberger?
Tax Commissioner.
There you go. Yeah.
I think that's this year too. I'll have to look. I've just been focusing on the school land board. That's shame on me.
Yeah. Okay, and one more time on the school land board.
School land board. The governor.
Yep.
The superintendent of public instruction. The attorney general. The secretary of state. The state treasurer. Currently, 4 of the 5 seats are owned by Burgum, and the only one I'm removing from that is Wrigley. But Baszler had donations, Beetle had donations, Michael had donations, and you have Doug. So 4 of the 5 of those are all Burgum back candidates. Crocious is tax commissioner. Thank you, Janet. I think Rauschenberger has been out of office for a bit now.
Oh, there you go. I'm uninformed again. So anyway, back to the land board. What are they? Can you, for the folks who don't know, what do they do? Just right quick.
They are in charge of like the investments with the legacy fund. They are in charge of the oil money that's coming in through, coming in from the oil wells through the school land, stuff like that. They, I believe, have final say on how school lands are leased out and to how they are leased out and how that stuff gets done. They're in charge of all the mineral rights, things like that.
So just a minute. Stop right there.
Yeah.
Say that again. They're in charge of what? The mineral rights?
Like the mineral rights and that stuff too. So like Williston, when those 2 districts merged.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Go ahead.
District 8 was the older one, or District 1 was the older one? Which was the older of the 2 districts?
I don't know for sure. I think it was District 8 did not want to.
Yeah, District 8 was the older of the 2 districts, technically.
Mm-hmm.
And with that forced merger, all the mineral rights that school district had should have reverted back to the state, which makes it state-controlled mineral rights too.
Mm.
And with them being the oldest school district, they literally had the rights to everything.
Mm.
They didn't transfer to the new district, folks. I hate to ruin that surprise for you.
Shame, shame, shame. Everybody knows your name.
8 was country, 1 was country, 1 was city. Yeah, so District 8 had all their mineral rights, had everything. Anyway,
there's a lot to that story that we can continue some other time, but
yeah, and
thank
if
you
you
for
guys
explaining that, because a lot of people don't know what the land board is or what they do or who's on it, and
and there's a lot more to it too, but that's just the short and sweet of what they're all involved in.
yeah. Well,
It's
I
a lot of
suppose everybody can go and enjoy their Friday, their Friday night. And once we figure out who we're going to have on for Tuesday, we'll make that announcement. I hope it's someone good. Like, I don't know.
I mean, we could have Representative Becker on, but I think we'll just talk about taxes again.
Oh no, we can have more fun with him now that he's running for House.
Right?
That bugger, he didn't say anything when he was on the last time, and then like the next day he announced. I'm like, what? Good for him though.
Well, I think Rick's got a lot of people that have been hoping he'd run for something. I know there's a lot of people hoping to see him run for governor, but honestly, I'd be glad to see him representing us in Washington for a change too. I mean, you got to remember, it's only a 2-year term out there for that.
Right.
So
Crystal says, will I see you in Tioga tomorrow? That is a no.
Leadership training.
That is a no. That is, I will not be attending that. But Crystal, I'm glad you're on. Do you have any updates on the hand counting class? Let's give her a second here to.
No, that's fine. I'm here.
What does she say? Oh, Rauschenberger had the incident that didn't make sense. Oh yeah. Gotcha. Oh, Crystal says no, not yet. Okay, Crystal, I've been meaning to reach out to you. It's been crazy at work, so I'll try and get a hold of you this weekend. Now that I know you're going to be in Tioga,
Yeah,
we'll go from there and see what we can do. We're trying to plan, just so people know, we're trying to plan a hand count class because the establishment is saying that we can't hand count anymore, and that's just not true. So we're working with the Cause of America team. So if anybody is interested in the hand count class, please get a hold of us. You can message on here, or again, we got the email for the show. I think I still got the Crystal. I'm gonna give your stuff away again. I think there we go.
Well, you know, Shiloh, the easy answer to hand counting:
What's
sell
that?
the damn machines, take what we can get for them, open up more polls.
There you go. Well, and just like this shirt says behind me of Mike Lindell's, melt the machines and make prison bars out of them. That's what we should do. Melt the machines and make prison bars out of them. So down here on the marquee is Crystal's information. If you guys are interested in taking that hand counting class, we're going to try and do a few in between now and the primary and then the general election as well. So we are working on trying to prove that theory wrong, and hopefully we get to test it soon when we get rid of the machines. So did I it was a couple weeks ago when what's his name was on KFYR now, Michael Howe, and he flat said that the machines cannot get on the internet. If that is the case, Mr. Howell, why can we not open up the machines? Why will you not bring one out and open one up? Or any of them? Why are they hidden? That's what I'd like to know. Because they can be on the internet. It's called the little modem that you have. But we can't see it because he won't let us in, right? So, anyway. I'd like to have him on too, but I doubt that he'll come. He didn't come when we tried to get him when Luke was on as well, so. But
Well, last
maybe.
time I checked, State's on Verizon. And give me a second. All their networks at the polling locations are StageNet.
That doesn't matter.
No. Hold on. Easy killer. Retract your clause.
Okay, I'm retracting.
Let me find it. Because I got to go back a year and a half.
Oh, yeah.
So StageNet-SOS is at every polling location. But I'm curious why at every polling location we see the Verizon MiFi 880s or 8800Ls.
I don't know. I have no idea. It
Which
can't be because they can be on the internet, is it?
would be that device.
Hmm.
But, you know, I didn't collect the photos of the Wi-Fi signals at every polling station I was at in 2022 or anything.
You're not suicidal, right?
Right.
Shoot. Well, at any rate, that's our.
Anyway,
I'm not suicidal either, so.
oh boy, I'm just
And my wife really does love me, okay? So. Well, look at the time. At any rate, folks, we will
Anyway.
see you Tuesday, whether we have a guest or not. You have a great weekend, a blessed weekend, and we will see you Tuesday.
Later, guys.
Oh, what did I do? I hit the wrong
You
button
pushed
again,
the
Marvin.